In the name of Allah, the most merciful and the entirely merciful, all praises due to Allah the Almighty, the Lord of the world. May Allah's peace, mercy, and blessings be upon His final and last messenger, Muhammad. And may Allah's peace, mercy, and blessings be with each and every one of you, dear viewers, watching this new episode of your program, The Revelation, here on Nile TV International. In this episode, my dear viewers, we will be picking up where we left in the previous couple of episodes, highlighting and looking into the position of the Islamic jurisprudence when it comes to peaceful coexistence. And without any further ado, I'm building onto the previous episodes and moving to the seventh principle here, my dear viewers. And how is it Islam, or that's how is it Islam guides, and I would say even urges and instructs, and even from an Islamic jurisprudential perspective, commands Muslims to respond to evil with goodness. And this is the very exact meaning of this very important verse in Surah, or the chapter of Fussilat, and particularly as we read verse number 34.
ولا تستوي الحسنة ولا السيئة ادفع بالتي هي أحسن فإذا الذي بينك وبينه عداوة كأنه ولي حميم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. And not equal are the good deed and the bad. Repel by that which is better, and thereupon the one whom between you and him is enmity, as though he was a devoted friend.
When we look into this verse, my dear viewers, we clearly see that many lessons and moral values can be extracted and internalized, and we very much need such noble teachings in our world today, especially as all these technologies allowed us to all be interconnected and close, and with the means of transportation now it is just within a few hours we can move to another continent, and not just another country. So here we read how that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us وَلَا تَسْتَوِي الْحَسَنَةُ وَلَا السَّيِّئَةُ, and that's a good deed is not equal to a bad doing, i.e. this is a form of encouragement for us as believers in the one and only Creator, as seekers of the one and only Creator, that our aspiration, our aim is not to be merely to be ones who treat people just as how they treat us. Rather, we treat people as we wish them to treat us. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us and encouraging us to move to a higher standard of ethics and morality when we deal with other human beings, that even if they mistreat us, our aim as believers in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has to be one that seeks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, has to be one that goes over and beyond the badness of how they treated us. Rather, we should deal with others based on not how they dealt with us, rather on the basis of who we are as believers in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and as followers of all prophets and messengers who taught humanity how to be noble and how to be ethical of how they deal with others, especially when it comes to reacting or responding to the ones who mistreat us.
ولا تستوي الحسنة ولا السيئة ادفع بالتي هي أحسن فإذا الذي بينك وبينه عداوة كأنه ولي حميم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. And not equal are the good deed and the bad. Repel by that which is better, and thereupon the one whom between you and him is enmity, as though he was a devoted friend.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us clearly, idfa billati hiya ahsan. That's we need to repel any form, or even we clearly can state that, because as a matter of fact, the word idfa can also mean to push away. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is drawing this image for us, that this is a form of jihad, this is a form of effort, this is a form of doing one's best, because definitely as human beings we have the inclination to seek revenge, to seek pay back. But here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that we need to exert this effort. We need to go this extra mile by pushing that evil or that mistreatment, by offering, by putting forward and offering that which is good. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then tells us a very important objective that has to be internalized and reside in the back of the mind of each and every one of us, that our aim as we deal with those who mistreat us is not just even to avoid them, or of course to not to treat them as they treat us, rather, and as the verse puts it, فَإِذَا الَّذِي بَيْنَكَ وَبَيْنَهُ عَدَاوَةٌ كَأَنَّهُ وَلِيٌّ حَمِيمٌ. That the fruit or the outcome of this ethical way of responding to that which is not good or bad or evil in a way that's good and noble, when we treat others in a noble way, irrespective of how they deal with us or how they treat us, this will turn them, this will transform them. So how you see here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, treating others with goodness even though they didn't do so towards us is a way of transforming others into better human beings. And that's, they become not anymore as people who hold grudges or animosity towards us, rather the fruit of this, the outcome of this, and this is what should be our aspiration. They will turn around to become waliyun hamim, i.e. a very close and protective friend. So here, this is very revolutionizing. This is very transformative of even our world views, of our experience of the world, because some people tend to think that they just need to avoid others, or that if they are mistreated, then they are entitled to respond in a similar way, or if not even more. But here, the Quranic teaching is telling us in a very guiding manner that our aim is to treat with everyone around us in a very noble way, because here we are the representatives of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that each and everyone around us, be it they share the same belief system, or they believe in the same faith that we believe into, they are our brothers and sisters. And this is why we are highly encouraged, as per this verse, to respond to what is bad or what is evil, and to repel it by responding and answering to it in a way that's good and in a way that's noble and conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Furthermore, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us clearly, idfa billati hiya ahsan. That's, we need to repel any form, or even we clearly can state that, because as a matter of fact, the word idfa can also mean to push away. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is drawing this image for us, that this is a form of jihad, this is a form of effort, this is a form of doing one's best, because definitely as human beings we have the inclination to seek revenge, to seek pay back. But here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that we need to exert this effort. We need to go this extra mile by pushing that evil or that mistreatment, by offering, by putting forward and offering that which is good. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then tells us a very important objective that has to be internalized and reside in the back of the mind of each and every one of us. With this, my dear viewers, we come to the end of this episode. Of course, as always, your questions, feedback, and comments are most welcome via the official Facebook page of the program and the rest of the social media. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.